back here on Good Morning Lake Martin. It is top of the hour. Welcome to all the folks around the state of Alabama with the Alabama Cable Network joining us for this second hour of Good Morning Lake Martin. Doug Roberts is in the house with us this morning, and we are welcoming a couple of guests to the show with us this morning, and we're glad to have them in the house. And let me get my note in front of me. We welcome Miss Bonnie HOLLAN and Miss Hannah ZIMMER to the show this morning. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
And Doug, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
Hope you had a great weekend.
Good, great weekend.
We'll get caught up in a second. Last week, girls, we had Miss Lisa Hurd and Miss Barbara Buchanan on the show, and we talked about the Youth Advisory Board about underage drinking, and you guys are here to talk about that as well. Now, where do you go to high school?
Real Town.
Real Town. She says that proudly. Real Town Rebels. And you're in the band? You're in the band?
Yes, sir, I'm in the band.
All right. Well, I think you're fine representatives for your school. Let's talk about this. And a lot of people don't realize what a problem underage drinking is. I don't think they really realized it, especially until we had those two ladies on last week. The more we talk about this issue, it's pretty scary, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about the coalition and what you all do with the Underage Drinking Coalition.
Well, what we've been doing is we're reaching the middle school students at our schools in Tallapoosa County, trying to help them to see the consequences of drinking before they're in high school and pressured by other people to do so. Mm-hmm. We've been working on some public service announcements. They'll be airing on a lot of local stations, and we're talking to a lot of high school students as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, and Bonnie, your thoughts on some of the things that they're doing. The coalition's doing a good work.
Yes, sir. We're trying to reach them and make them know the consequences, like what can happen and everything that if the child dies, that the grieving that goes on and all the consequences that happen from underage drinking.
Yeah, we seem to see it more and more. Doug and I have talked about it many times, and we both have a real concern about underage drinking. Is something that we both have children.
Yeah, but we've had children that have gone through middle school, high school, and moved on, past that age now, but still have young ones too, so it is a concern.
It really is. What are some of the things you all are doing with the coalition?
Well, like I said, we are reaching the middle school students. That's been one of our main focuses. But we are also, the public service announcements also, but we're working on contests to get the students involved and to make them more aware. We're doing poster contests and writing contests. We're also using the sticker system is what we call it. Mm-hmm. We're stickering alcohol boxes in grocery stores to make parents and more aware of what the consequences are. And we are also, well, that's about it, actually.
That's very good. And when you get a chance to go into some of the schools, what age group are you usually talking to? Where does it start?
Around 7th grade.
7th grade.
Yes, sir.
What do you find their response is for the most part, or do they have one, or they just kind of look at you?
Well, they're kind of surprised, actually, because you see most of the high school students, people my age, they do drink, and they see that more often than not. And so when they hear like me or Bonnie speak about not drinking, it kind of takes them by surprise because they're not used to hearing things.
Well, and kudos to both of you for making a really wise choice at a young age. As you know, a lot of people your age don't have the character to make that choice, and there are dire consequences, as you mentioned. How much pressure is there? I mean, be real, be honest. You're in high school, you're a senior, you're 17, 18 years old. How much pressure is there on high school kids to drink nowadays?
You would be surprised. Some of my own friends have pressured me. I found myself in the situation of to drink or not to drink by people you would think would have the respect to not ask you such a thing.
Right. It almost becomes a challenge for them to try to get you to do it.
Right. Can I get Hannah to drink?
Right. Can I get her to give in? So stay strong. So it's important.
I talked to someone after our local graduation here, and I went to a post-graduation party, and they said there were underage kids there drinking at will. It wasn't a big deal, and they were shocked. And I think more and more it's going to take, I mean, I'll be honest with you, Doug and I could go and speak to that school all day, but I think you guys being high school seniors, I think your impact is going to be so far greater than what either of us or anybody really adult could do, because you're more their age, and I think they would be more apt to listen to you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Just say, hey, you're wrong. My family does it all the time, too.
I'm used to it. But
when you look at young people your age, high school and middle school, a lot of times adults are drinking to get away from problems or whatever. But most of the time when you're at this age, it's drinking to be cool and fit in, or to try to be part of a group of people that you're not. Is that
That is
it really is just
accurate.
totally social pressure.
It's so cool to drink. You know, they think it's a good time, but I feel like you don't have to drink to have a good time. That's one of the big things that I want to get across to the younger kids. You can have a wonderful time without drinking.
That's right.
And remember it the next day.
And on top of that, not break the law
Sick.
and be
Yes.
safe.
Yeah.
So, and tell us this. This is one of the things that I think the survey that the coalition did that was brought out, I think by Miss Lisa Hurd, told us the first time that she was on. But where do most people your age get their alcohol? I mean, obviously you shouldn't be able to buy it
Right,
in a
yeah.
store, although I know there's such things as fake IDs. They're out there, but
There's stores that sell beer and alcohol to minors. There's around 29 in Tallapoosa County. So I think we should
Wow.
try
How
and
about that?
stop that.
Wow.
throw that out there.
But
They also get it from parents. A lot of parents are willing to give their kids alcohol, saying, well, I mean, if they're drinking around me, it's better than if they're drinking out with their friends.
And I'm glad you brought that point out. That's something that we hear a lot is, well, if they're going to drink anyways, we might as well make a safe haven for them.
Right.
And if they stay here tonight, if they stay at our house or our cabin or our whatever, then we're not worried about them. As long as you don't drink and drive, just spend the night and get up and leave in the morning. Is that what goes on?
That's exactly what happens. We had a big hoorah after prom where almost everyone went to an adult's house, a parent's house, and they spend the night there after a long night. And the parents are condoning the wrong kind of behavior. I don't think it's very, very wise on their part.
And that kind of makes it difficult for young people when their parents or adults in general in authority are saying, you need to follow these rules, you need to do this, you don't need to do this. But then here's another very large life-changing rule that they dismiss or, say, hey, it's okay, it's not a big deal. It kind of creates confusion for young people, doesn't it, on who to listen to and what to listen to.
now, there are other events coming up, I think, according to Ms. Hurd and Ms. Buchanan, things that you'll be able to go into schools. Do you go to other schools, too, in the county? Will you be going to other area schools, you think?
We individually will not, but the Youth Advisory Board members from Dayville, Benjamin Russell, and Horseshoe Bend will be going to their schools.
Oh, good.
Right.
Good.
Okay.
So
Now,
there's
how many
other
people are
events.
on the youth portion of the coalition or the advisory board?
23.
23.
Good,
Nice.
okay.
Great.
Well, that's pretty cool, and I appreciate your stand, both of you. I
Yeah.
appreciate what you
A
stand
lot of respect
for.
for you.
Yeah, absolutely, and you stay strong. Let me tell you, I'm 56 years old, and I've never been a drinker. It just didn't appeal to me. It wasn't a thing that I ever cared for. I couldn't get past the smell. I'll be honest with you. It just wasn't something that tempted me. It just wasn't my thing. So you can be strong, and I appreciate your stance. I really do. And I appreciate the work that this coalition is doing. After talking to Ms. Hurd and Ms. Buchanan, we have other guests later on in the week. It's something that they feel very strongly about, and they should, because it's a problem. And we need to learn to deal with it and start speaking truthfully to
And
these young
we
people
appreciate,
about the consequences.
first of all, what they're doing to help you all in school,
Yes.
because sometimes when you're young, you feel like, there's nobody there to really support you, even when you try to do the right thing. But good job for both of you and your friends that are in this group that are trying to do what's right, simply for the fact that it's the right thing to do.
Yep.
Thank you.
So
You guys hang in there. Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back. This is Good Morning Lake Martin.